everybody. So the new moon, this is my new moon vlog, and it was a very internal time for me. And what I did was I went through all of my spare room in my side closet and I created something very special and amazing. And what I created was a healing sanctuary out of my spare room where my clients can get on the table and do energy work or come in and do yoga and healing sessions. And I have a Kuan Yin lamp and an altar. So if you're in the area of Central Florida and you would like energy work or a healing session, it's interesting to photograph a room from inside the room. I hope you can get a full scope of it, but this is now, there you go, my healing sanctuary altar place. So this is my gorgeous room. I'll post a picture of it. I have a healing room in my house now. So this is just my incredible, it was gift to myself. Spirit works in interesting ways. With one intention, I started to do this excavation, and then this is what came out of it. So I'm really looking forward to people being on that table. So you are invited to come up on that table and have me do energy work and healing work on you, and to be in this room and for us to be in this shared co-creative space and do yoga and prayers and service. So that is what is up. So I'm so grateful for having this space and for it to be healing and having the intentions to heal. So you guys are welcome to join me here. So I'm going to now sit in the chair and talk about my topic for the week, which is authentic communication. Okay, aho. Okay, so hello, happy new moon to everybody. It's if you're watching this in January of 2016, we just had a Capricorn new moon, and it's been very heavy. Capricorn energy can be heavy, but it's also like solidifying. Like I created a healing sanctuary with the energy, which is amazing. So it's a time right now of planting seeds for creation for the future. But so I like to talk about patterns and what I'm noticing going on consciously in the world. And so what has been coming up a lot for me these last 2 weeks are two things, but I'll get into the other one eventually. But the first one is authentic communication. So the topic is, how do we recognize when we are not communicating authentically, when we are communicating from a habitual way of responding to things, and what are the patterns that we and who are the people, and how are we allowing ourselves to be more scripts of who we are versus who we actually are, because there's so much freedom in the present moment, right? Like in the when we are allowing ourselves to be fully 100% bringing our truth, our A game, our like infusion into the real picture, we can actually like allow ourselves to communicate with the other person, and to listen to the other person, which I think is so important. So I think listening might be the number one tool for authentic communicating. And I'm sure that other people have said this because it sounds familiar as I say it out loud, is that like listening is the most important tool for authentically communicating, because as we listen, we attune to the frequency of what needs to be said, or it's almost like we have like an electrifying response that can come out of the present moment versus like something that's already scripted in our heads and sounds wise but actually isn't. There's no feeling behind it, right? So there are so many people, like our parents and our colleagues and just people in our lives that kind of, or people that we are being polite to. I notice is like one of my biggest barriers, I think, are like the social constructs of being polite and what you think that people want you to say versus like being just completely yourself in every moment, which I feel is more truthful, it's more empowering, and feels better. It feels good to be who you really are. So one of the things that I've noticed about authentic communication is that if I am listening with my whole being, like none of me's in the past, I'm not thinking in my head, I'm just being present and still and allowing myself to receive what's being offered to me by the other person, then there's like feedback. I am able to attune to what's being given to me, and then from there I listen and reflect like what's just been given to me, and then that person bounces it back, and there's this dance of energy, because communication is an exchange. So it's an exchange of love and energy, and if we're feeling connected to each other, then there's an intimacy to be gained, and there's this energetic loop, and as we become in communion with the other person. And if we are trusting ourselves and each other, then we are treating the other person like they are divine, and we are holding ourselves like we are divine. And from that, we're in this communion, we are in a union, a unification of communication, and that creates this authenticity, this vivification of energy, where we're both turned on and enlivened and raised up by the exchange, versus this dullness that can be created when we're responding to people from these behavior patterns that are like old paradigm, sure, old in our own consciousness and our own evolution, and stale and old, and it's like we speak from the past. We're just not present. We speak from our heads, and we speak from the past, and we recall information versus actually take that time to attune and listen and ask what's called for. It takes great awareness and great presence and great stillness, which I have a lot of fire energy in me. I like to run around a lot and be very playful, which is totally fine, because I think that there can be enlightenment in moving fast, but also there's something to be said for me, and or from my perspective at least, of taking space from being reactive and tuning in enough to listen and be present with what is called forth in a higher capacity, or a deeper capacity, let's say, of love and care and awareness, right? More authentic truth, more presence, more depth, and the juice of life. And yeah, it's so good when we can connect to each other in a really authentic way. So I guess homework for the week would be, notice your patterns, notice where you're seeing your stale communication, notice the people who make you react or respond in a certain way, and try your best to kind of spin it, rearrange it, to make a shift, an adjustment, and play with, can I be more raw, free, invulnerable maybe, authentic and deep, and can I connect to the heart of this person, and can I allow them the gift of forgiveness, which is that they are my brother, or that they are my sister, and that I am one with them, and we can have communion from one heart to another, reverberating, reciprocating, back and forth. So, aho. I hope this serves you very much. In aho, namaste, and so it is. In love, light, and warrior spirit, forevermore. This is Michelle Infinity. Happy new moon, healing sanctuary. Please come visit me, and we will do some work on the table or in a yoga class setting. So if you're in Central Florida, hit me up on the internet and book a session. InfiniteEverything.net. Love you. Aho.